Hi, it's Leela, the proud poly kinky queer slut. Today's question is, how can we be less ruled by our fear? So we are in a society that inundates us with fear, because fear is an easy way to control people. Fear is addictive. It releases chemicals in our body that cause us to go into that fight, flight, freeze mode. Our body becomes used to those chemicals, and then we seek them. Also, our brains are wired to protect us and keep us safe. And so if the message that we should be afraid gets implanted in our brains, then it's easy to overlook all of the evidence of safety around us on a daily basis and focus on that fear. And that makes us easier to control. It makes us easier to manipulate, and it makes us less likely to go out exploring, adventuring, bringing the things into our lives that will actually make us happy. So, practical tips on how you can be more fear resilient in your life. 1, look at what is creating fear in your life. So, are you doom scrolling? Is your feed curated such that what you're seeing are messages of fear? Or are you liking things that are messages of hope? And take the time to like and heart and do the little like responses to the things that make you feel good and make you feel safer and are good news stories, and less on the things that are bad news stories, less on the things that make you afraid. Because that will help curate your feeds to provide you with more positive input. Second, seek out more positive input and positive spins on things that are scary for you. So, for example, if you encounter a news item that is about crackdowns and fears and things that are personally scary for you, take the effort to go find what people are doing to fight that, because being empowered is the antidote to fear. 3, get curious. Curiosity is magic. Curiosity brings energy and hopefulness and a sense of work, of puzzlement, of playfulness to whatever you're approaching it, or whatever you're approaching with that curiosity. So if you're finding yourself in a situation where you are really afraid to, say, go downtown at night, ask yourself why and explore what's going on with that. And think about where that fear comes from, and maybe do some experiments where you put yourself in situations that you think are scary and experience whether or not they truly are scary, and find your boundaries around that. And by doing that, we can expand the world of our fears. We can expand our safe bubble and push those fears farther away. Another thing you can do is actively fight the fear. So look up the statistics on how likely it is that something bad's going to happen, so that you can assign a risk to the actual fear. Like, most of us are not afraid to drive around in cars, but cars are actually statistically more likely to kill us than most other things. So if you look up violent crimes, you'll find that violent crime is down all over, at least the US, in the last 20 years. That's something that we can fear less than we used to. If you look up, most of the things that we're told to be afraid of, if you look up facts about them, you find it's not statistically probable to impact your life. Now, obviously, that's not true of all of the policies that are happening nationally for all people. Certainly, if your gender is no longer recognized on your passport, that is certainly something that affects you. I'm not saying that we should bury our heads in the sand. But I also think that there are a lot of times when we are losing track of the fact that we are actually safer now, living longer, healthier lives now than our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. And focusing on that can really help us have less fear. Why is it important to have less fear? Well, if you have less fear, you have more ability to act. Fear shuts us down. Fear keeps us trapped. Fear makes us less likely to actually do the things that make us happy, and also less likely to do the things that actually allow us to make positive change in the world. So if you can turn your fear down, then you are correspondingly releasing energy and from your spinning wheel of brain to focus on other things, to focus on things that are more positive. Finally, one of the biggest things that we can do to counter fear in our life is practice gratitude. So having a practice of saying thank you for the things in our lives that we're grateful for. And prayer can be really good for this. It can also be something done through affirmations. It can be something that you just do when you're sitting around. But just taking the moment of recognizing, wow, I am really grateful that I have my job. I am really grateful that I don't have to struggle to put food on the table. I am really grateful that I have my children. I am really grateful that I live where I live. I'm really grateful that I had a really fun time the other night. I am really grateful for this funny movie that I saw. I'm really grateful for my comfy socks. Whatever it is, just practicing gratitude really makes a big difference in countering fear. And yeah, I think it helps. So thanks very much for listening. This is Leela, the Proud Polykiki Queer Slut. Have a great day.